The following hometown program is brought to you in living color on WBBZ-TV.
Welcome to the Daily Buzz 716. It's a big day here for us at the Daily Buzz 716. Not only is it our first day live at the Erie County Fair, it's our 100th episode, ladies! We have a great show in store for you today. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to hear about a local music festival. We're going to sample some great food and so much more. And it all starts right now. Okay, ladies, here we go. The Erie County Fair.
I know, it's so
live
exciting.
to air, and it's a milestone for us. It's our milestone 100th episode of the Daily Buzz 716.
So fun.
Who would have believed it?
Who'd have thunk it?
Who knew? We made it.
We look good for 100.
Has anybody yet reminded Mayor Brown of his promise?
Yep, he'll be back.
No, 100 episodes. Now, I thought it was key to the city, but then I'm told no. Those go to like foreign dignitaries and But he did promise a proclamation.
Okay,
Yes, he did.
We did.
We'll get right on the phone. We'll get right on the phone with Mayor Brown.
Okay,
But,
you've been warned.
ladies, so we all wanted to come in for our 100th episode, and Judge Penny Wolfgang, well, she is presiding over court today, but she made sure to take a moment to send us all a message. So here we have that right now for you.
Hi, everybody. I am so sad not to be with you today on our very special 100th anniversary. I can't believe 100 episodes have passed like that. But I can't do it today because I'm actually in small claims court as a judge on Wednesdays. So I really miss you. I wish I could be participating in real life, but my thoughts are with all of you, the ladies, the guys that we work with every day on the set, and you, our viewers. Thank you so much for being so loyal and for watching us on the Daily Buzz 716, and please continue for another 100 episodes, 1,000 episodes, 1,000,000 episodes. Happy anniversary to us.
Well, we're going to have more of a celebration a little later in our 100th episode. But before we get there, ladies, what's on your mind?
It's dangerous asking us that question. It really is.
Okay, what is on your mind? Here
Well,
we
I
are
can
at the
tell
Erie
you
County Fair.
What's on my mind is the Erie County Fair. And this building, we're in this wonderful,
Brand new.
Erie County Fair Cooks Kitchen and Shop. There you go. Yes. That means you're going to cook today.
And that is one of the 12 things that not to miss at the Erie County Fair, so proclaimed Buffalo News today.
Okay.
And especially, though they didn't say so, because we're going to be right here
every weekday that the Erie County Fair is open, we will be here.
Right here.
WBBZ will be here, and the ladies of the Daily Buzz 716 will be here doing our live to air show, and we hope you come down and that you're part of our audience here at the fair. So
And we have a gazebo. Where's the gazebo, Mayor?
Well, the gazebo supposedly is adjacent to the historical building, but some of us know it better by being
Directly across from the wine garden.
Wait. Say that again. I wasn't sure I heard you, Mary.
Oh, you heard it right.
Across from the wine
Directly
garden.
across from the
That's
wine
the
garden.
WBBZ
That's where we're going to
gazebo.
go after this.
Get a glass of wine and go see WBBZ.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you should do it.
All right.
Well, it's an awesome time to be out here at the traditional, fair, and we're going to meet the director of the fair in a little
We're gonna
while.
meet
Not to mention a beautiful day to be here.
Gorgeous day. Great weather coming up. Yesterday in the news, we heard of a couple of passings of some really prominent people in the music and entertainment industry. Glenn Campbell, the original Rhinestone Cowboy, who really, I think, brought country music to the mainstream and really became a great role model for everyone suffering very publicly with his Alzheimer's. And his daughter wrote him a beautiful song as a tribute to her dad. And there's a lot to be learned from an insidious disease like that. And he did it with his head held high like a rhinestone rhinestone cowboy, but you know, just we all miss him. No matter if you're a cowboy or a Western music fan or a country music fan.
He's still gentle on our mind.
He is, thank you. Very nice, very nice. Some most memorable music. And then the Broadway world lost one of the most iconic actresses ever, Barbara Cook. Barbara Cook was the original Mary and the Librarian and Music Man. She was in Candide, made a career of herself later in life for her cabaret work, which was just renowned throughout the world. Most crystal gorgeous, multi-octave voice, and probably most a song interpreter of unparalleled excellence. So we mourn Barbara Cook, and she was 89, and the one and only Glenn Campbell. So just I bet Glenn Campbell performed here at the Hamburg Fair. The Hamburg Fair. How old are you, Mary Kate? When I rode my dinosaur here, there was Glenn Campbell.
Adriana.
Speaking of here in Buffalo, you know, social media was buzzing. Of course, the news was buzzing with the news of an NBA player being in town. Now, he's one of my favorite, and I'm talking about former player for the Miami Heat. He actually has a girlfriend, wife now, who is like super successful. She's on television, my favorite show, being Mary Jane, Gabrielle Union, and I'm talking about Mr. D. Wade. Now, he was in town with New Era. He played in their fundraiser, their tournament that they do every year for golfing, and the beauty is he snapped a picture in his Snapchat in front of the actual flagship store in the headquarters, the New Era headquarters, and so everybody saw this picture like, when did he sneak into town? So then pictures of him playing golf started surfacing, so I just thought it was really great that we had this awesome NBA player in town who now plays for the Chicago Bulls, and I'm just mad that we didn't get a chance to get him on WBBZ.
Because he sneaked in.
He sneaked in. And there's a lot of players that come in and out of Buffalo, especially in stopping at New Era. So somehow we got to get the connection so we can get the deets.
We have to have
Adriana,
a body cam at New Era.
You've got to get on that, girl.
Yeah.
That is you.
I was like so hurt. Everybody was like, did you know? I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, so, because I had a crush on him like way back when, but
not anymore.
No,
we
can't tell
not
you don't have it
anymore.
anymore, Adriana.
Yeah, you've really you've gone over
He
there.
married my sister.
Oh my God. Okay, then.
In my head.
So back to the fair.
Let's talk about D-Wade.
So this is our 100th episode, WBBZ at the fair. I know that we all have things at the fair that we love, right? And I think that my favorite thing about the fair is that when you come to the fair, you can find just about any kind of fried food on a stick. Anything that you could possibly consume, you will find at the fair fried on a stick.
I think we all have that in common, food.
Yeah.
And anytime I think about the fair, I think about the rides and the food. So I try to get on the rides before I, take any kind of food.
Do you take the food on the rides?
I tried one time. I got stopped. It was like a fried Oreo.
Really?
There's like,
I don't think people want to be under you with food on the ride.
You can't eat that on here, man. Mine's
I used to love the rides. Not so much anymore. I love the food.
Of course.
It's all about
It's all about
and
the
trying
food.
something
It's all
new.
about the food.
Yes.
Fair's
We're
all
on a
about
mission.
food.
We have to find some
Like crawfish.
Yeah.
Gotta find it.
Oh, that's right. Turns out Mary Arno,
I know
she
crawfish.
likes
You know
crawfish.
crawfish. I mean,
So how do you eat crawfish, Mary?
Well, you suck the head. This is not obscene. That's what people do.
Seriously, it is. It really is.
No,
It is not
It's
what
not
people do.
It's just hearing you say
break
it.
it open. You eat the tail. The tail,
Yeah.
and then you take the head.
You get all the good shots.
And
Somebody
that's where
needs
because
to
what they
find
boil
Mary
it
Arno
in, they boil
some
it in
crawdads.
spices, and that's where all the spices are.
Yep. I agree.
And the brain.
Yeah, it is good.
No.
Don't you know crawfish? Crawfish have
I have had
amazing
crawfish
brains.
soup. It's amazing.
It is. It's like little lobsters,
Yep.
basically. You think you eat lobster, don't you?
I love
You gotta take a lot down just to get full.
Okay.
So if anyone who comes into our live audience here at the fair, if you find some crawdads, you bring them in to Mary.
Crawfish.
Some crawfish.
Yeah.
We don't say
She'll
crawdads.
show us all how you eat the. Don't say crawdads.
Just come to the Erie County Fair, work your way down to Midway from fried dough to peppers and onions, everything's here.
So we do have to take a short break, but we will be right back.
We'll find some crawfish.
And
That's great.
we're going to meet a man who is an important part of the Erie County Fair. So stay with us.
Thunder rolls and I pull the covers over my head.
Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Our first guest today is the man in charge of the entire Erie County Fair. He's the CEO, Dennis Lang. Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having
It's
me.
so great to have. What year is this for the fair?
178.
178.
Wow.
Is
That's
this the
awesome.
first
Amazing.
one where you had a major weather event a week before?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And tell us about that.
The tornado hit about 12:30 on, I think it was the 19th. It was devastating. I was just pulling into the fairgrounds from lunch, and I thought there was a fire on the ground because I saw the black smoke.
It was, this was like ground zero for the tornado.
Yes, ma'am. I came in the lower gate by the livestock area, and it had come across the fairgrounds, and I just saw it spin, and then everything from our buildings, our grandstands, our roofs were gone within a minute and a half.
What people might not realize, there was a horse show going on at the same time.
Yes, we
And
had-
how traumatic that could have been, but
In the lower area of the grounds, we had a horse show with 225 horses, approximately 500 people, and I can't tell you how many cars and trailers. Trees went down, crushed a camper, did $28,000 to a pickup truck and horse trailers.
But the fair is here. We're here.
Yes, ma'am.
So what type of manpower did it take to make this happen?
Our staff was tremendous with pitching in and doing some extra work. All of our contractors and our partnerships with all the different fellows that have worked here forever. We had 150 contractors, employees on the grounds for like 17 days straight. They worked Saturdays and Sundays, and when there was daylight and the weather permitted, they were working.
Now, understanding their responsibility, what made you want to step into such a role and hold such a position?
do you remember back that far, Denny?
This is my 19th fair as a manager, and it's changed a lot over the course of time. The good and the bad comes with it. And sometimes you're challenged by it, and sometimes the challenge makes you get to the top. I will be retiring at the end of this year, which I have nothing to do with the weather-related incident, but I am going to retire at the end of this year.
So you had announced it before the tornado?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right, just want to make sure they didn't run them out of here.
Fair, you've been with the fair for 19 years, and the fair is just growing and growing.
You were with the
Tell
fair
us
before
about the numbers, where the numbers were, people attending, and where the numbers are.
Well, I've managed the property for 19 years. I've been on the board of directors for 27 years, and I was a horse advisor to the board of directors from '82 forward. I've exhibited on the fairground since 1959, so I can remember when there wasn't the bathrooms, there wasn't the blacktop.
There weren't any bathrooms?
And when it was the Hamburg
It was
Fair.
very limited. You know, it was very limited as far as porta-johns and stuff like that versus what we have now.
Now, you shared how many years you have been a part of this amazing event. Now, prior to stepping into the role, have you ever done any events prior to ever being a part?
I had two careers. I was in the insurance business with Nationwide for 35 years, and I was a horse trainer that I traveled throughout the United States showing horses. So I've exhibited and have attended as many county fairs and state fairs as there is from, I'm going to say, Nebraska to the east. I've attended all the major fairs, so I'm familiar with it.
How far back do you start to plan for the 2017 fair? Do you start in 2016? What kind of lead time are you looking at?
You're making him laugh today.
I love the laughs.
As soon as we shut down and get cleaned up, we'll have a hash out meeting with the staff. Then there's a board of directors hash out meeting the second Wednesday in September.
Talking about what went right, what went wrong.
Correct. So we kind of analyze things and say, this is good, this is bad. Then we start planning it. I describe it as a 1,000-piece puzzle that you start putting the parameters in September, and hopefully today at noon, I get to put the last one in.
Well, Dennis, we're in a very new piece of that puzzle right now. We are in the new cooking building. So how did this come to be?
It was an idea that came out of a staff meeting, and then we started to develop it.
After the 2016 fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah, it takes that long to pull everything.
No, that sounds
to get all
fast
the
to me.
pieces
Exciting to be in a new
Yeah,
build.
that
It's
sounds
beautiful.
nice.
The accommodations are exquisite.
So you had a staff meeting and someone said we need a cooking building, and so this is of course a new endeavor for the fair. What can folks expect this year in this building?
I can't tell you how many chefs will be here, but we've reached out to many different areas. I know there's a gentleman that won a competition on Fox News, I think. Wow. And then Delaware North, their major chef, Chef Sterner, that was a big part of the planning and the description of it. Designed it and laid it out what the chefs needed. And we just started, again, we started putting the pieces together.
Now, every year it is clear that the fair continues to grow. There's new additions. What do you see as you're stepping down that may be added for next year?
That's kind of a tough question right now because once we get through the hash out, I know back in May we had a long-term planning meeting, and I think the area of the grounds that's going to be addressed next would be the 42nd Street area. So some of those buildings there worked for the times they were built, but right now it needs to be modified and changed. So I think the long-term planning will meet sometime in September and October, start the design. I don't know if you'll see any major changes for next year because of the length of time with construction. It takes you the full 11 months to go through one event and one construction project to get ready because you got to have your blueprints, your plans, your permits, and all that process.
Danny, anyone who knows you knows that you are clearly a hands-on CEO. Everybody sees you around on the grounds all the time. If you had to choose one thing, and this is tough, that you want to be noted for the Lang legacy here at the Erie County Fair, what would it be?
The beautification of the property.
Good. You've done that, man.
The fair is very involved with 4-H. Talk to us about the connection between the fair and 4-H.
Obviously, the 4-H and the children are very important to anybody's future. I don't care what kind of a business you're talking about, but they have all kinds of different livestock displays. We have the different auctions that we try to purchase some animals donated to the food pantry. Our concessionaires do the same thing. The involvement in the educational process and the learning process that they have an opportunity to see here, they're just not going to get through high school or through college.
Any other opportunity.
Correct.
Amazing. Now, having such a long commitment with the fair, what will you do on your time off?
I haven't figured that one out yet. But I did promise my wife that I would work as hard at retirement as I did at work. As long as I plan the day, I'm fine.
You can have a golf cart at your house?
No, I don't. I've always set goals and objectives with the insurance business and the horse business. Same thing I've done with the fair, and that's what I'm going to try to do with retirement, is to set a plan and a goal of what do you want to accomplish, and then try to accomplish.
Vacation as much as possible.
Real quick before we go, this is one of the largest and one of the longest running fairs in the country. What do you attribute that great success to?
People. The love, the passion, and the desire to want to be here and enjoy it, and the commitment to the whole process.
Plus, it's fun.
Absolutely.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Everybody starts talking about the fair as soon as the weather gets nice. What, you going to the fair? Yes, I'm going to the fair.
Thank you.
One last serious question. I'm sorry. Can you find us some crawfish?
You bet. We'll find it.
Thank you so much, Dennis. Thank you so much. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with WBBZ's very own Paul Peck from Beat the Champ. So stay with us. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Our next guest is WBBZ's very own Paul Peck from Beat the Champ. Paul is also the creative force behind a very new sports podcast. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ladies. I got to tell you, based on my other appearances on WBBZ, this is a much better dressed crowd than I will hear about that, by the way, so I guarantee you Mike Zarcone will make a comment to me about that. But this is great. I'm happy to be here with you guys. I live here in Hamburg, so the fair is such a cool time of the year, and you can feel it already, even though it hasn't quite opened yet, but it's just fun being here.
You know what else is a great time of the year? Football is on the way. Football is on the way.
September, my life and a lot of people's lives change in September.
Absolutely. It's the lives of the tomorrow.
Isn't there a game?
Well, yes, the first Bills preseason game will be tomorrow, and don't get me started on a rant about how I hate the preseason and barely want to pay attention to it, but the real season starts in September.
Yes.
Pro football, college football, hockey, training camp will start a couple weeks into September, so, you know, for as long as I've been in this, you know, the kids go back to school, and I go back to not being around very much.
Awesome.
Since that
Paul,
time of year.
is this the kind of thing that folks can expect from your podcast? Tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, and the podcast is part of a bigger project that myself myself and my partner Kevin Sylvester, who's been on the air doing sports in Western New York for well over 20 years as a radio host and Sabres announcer, we've started a new sports website called BuffaloSportsPage.com.
Love it.
The podcast is part of it because even though I consider myself a little more of an older and traditional media guy, I get what the world wants these days, and podcasts are great. They're sort of on-demand radio, so to speak. So podcasts are a big part of it. Stories are a big part of it. We've got a wonderful staff of people. Most of them are experienced sports media people in Western New York, and we've even added a guy like Greg Gaber, who's been an NFL scout and personnel director for over 30 years, and he's a Western New York native, and another Western New York native who's been a Sabres scout for the last 10 years, and they're part of what we're doing to try to bring people a little higher level of sports coverage in Western New York. My buzzword about it is less of the what and more of the why.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a podcaster myself and have a podcast. And like you said, it really is the new wave, and it's accessible at your fingertips. It's very mobile, and everyone is doing it. And it's really a great way to put out your own opinion without having to worry about any kind of anything. But here's something.
Filters.
Yeah, any kind of filters, right? So as a UB alum, and I know that you're a UB sportcaster, how do you feel about the new UB teammate that's coming on with the Bills?
I'm always excited. It's just my nature. I get excited going into a season, and you see what the potential is. And the nice thing about sports is things always happen the way you don't expect them to. So I mean, even as it relates to the Bills, they're going to stink this year, not going to be very good. Well, we've seen teams go from last to first all the time. So as it relates to the Bulls, I'm really excited. It's a great group of kids. They work hard. There's some really special players on that team. They're younger. They're learning. They may not be to the point where they're going to be, but they're on their way to getting there. And I'm excited. I love college football. This is a pro sports town, but I think there's a nice niche for college football and college sports in this town, and I think people, if they'll give it a little bit of a chance and they'll use Saturdays to watch some college football and not just pack their car up for their Bills tailgate, they'll realize that it's a really cool part of football and sports.
So tell us about the Bills.
Well,
what are you expecting this year?
I'm not expecting them to be great, but I think I'm expecting them to be, and I know people don't want to hear this, a little kind of where they they've been. They're kind of a middle of the road team, and the difference in the NFL between middle of the road 10 wins and 6 wins can be 3 or 4 plays, 3 or 4 players who don't get hurt or do get hurt. I like the new coaching staff. I think there's a lot of talented players on the Bills, but they're not all the way there yet, and they're certainly not quite to the level of the Patriots. And unfortunately, you can't tell the story of the Bills and their playoff drought over 17 years without also saying they've been in the same division with the greatest team in NFL history. So you're, in a lot of ways, you're always playing for second place, and that's hard.
Haven't they been almost there for a lot of years?
And that
now?
frustrates people.
And I think that's why Bills fans hold on, because we believe we're almost there.
Right.
Paul, I know you're involved in all kinds of sports stuff in Western New York, and that is fabulous. But let's not forget, most importantly, beat the champ.
Yes. The funny story is I had the opportunity, spent a good part of my career working with the great Van Miller when I worked at Channel 4. And aside from being one of the greatest guys I've ever been around, he was a big bowling guy. He hosted Beat the Champ after Chuck Healy, who was the first host of the show. Van did it, and Van had an appreciation for bowling. And I remember one of my very first days working here in 1988, coming from where I grew up outside of New York City, Van said, "Hey, we got to go cover this bowling tournament today." And I'm like, bowling? That was never on TV in New York City. And I'm like, okay. And what I learned was that this city has a deep-rooted passion for the sport, and part of that was because Van and the other sportscasters in town covered it on a regular basis. So I learned to appreciate what the sport meant to this town. So when the opportunity came up to bring the show back and I was asked to be a part of it, I'll be the first to admit bowling is not necessarily something I do a lot of, so there was a little hesitancy on my part to get involved in it, but I kind of thought back to Van, and I said, he'd be proud of me and proud of me keeping his legacy alive, and I always appreciated the support that I got from the bowling people. You'd come out and cover an event, and they'd hug you because they were happy to see you. So that kind of led to me being interested in getting involved in it.
I remember we talked, I believe it was a Christmas party right after Beat the Champ had started, and I was amazed and I said, how can you tell? And you add up those scores so fast, and you say, oh, he had a strike, he had him. And you said, Mary, I don't do it. Sue
I know. Sue does it.
Sue does it. But have you learned? It's been a while.
I have learned, but there's so many things going on that it's hard, and I, my brain can only process like maybe 1.5 things at one time.
Still the score
so Sue's the scorekeeper because she's when you're a bowler, you do it without thinking. And I still have to think. So I'm like, you know what? I'll worry about my stuff. You worry about the scores. But Sue's been incredible. She's been wonderful. She has taken to television. She knew the bowling. I mean, she knows all the bowling stuff. She is incredibly taken to television.
And she knows all the players.
And she knows everyone.
He's got a great left hook.
Yeah, and the one thing I got to say is I've had more people that have wanted to talk to me about the bowling show in the little over 1.5 years that we've done it. Almost, it feels to me like as many people want to talk bowling as they do Bills and Sabres when they see me out and about, and that just tells me what it means to people.
Now, you talked about passion. How did you stumble into sports, and now that has become
because I wasn't a very good athlete.
Great answer. Great
That works. That works.
How does it
That's
feel
fabulous.
taking over this iconic Buffalo institution of Beat the Champ?
It's a lot of pressure.
You know,
it's a lot of pressure.
I'll tell you, the days of Chuck Healy and of course Van.
Yeah, it's I didn't know Chuck, but obviously I knew Van, and it's a lot of pressure to walk in those footsteps. And even when I call UB football on the radio, I always think I've got to live up to Van's standards.
Well, Paul, we want to thank you so much for being with us
My
here
pleasure,
today.
ladies.
We have to take a short break. Again, this keeps happening, this short break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about a music and art festival. We're going to welcome Lindsay Taylor, and he is responsible for a festival at the Buffalo River Works, and this festival would be the Beau Flou. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Do you enjoy music and the arts? Then you're going to want to take part in an exciting festival coming up next weekend at the Riverworks. And we have the founder today, Lindsay Taylor, the Beau Flou Music and Arts Festival. Lindsay, did I say it right?
Yes.
Say it for us. Say it for us.
Beau Flou.
Beau Flou.
Beau Flou. Beautiful river on the beautiful Buffalo River.
Yes.
Pretty awesome event.
Yeah.
It's on the 19th.
Yep.
How'd you think of this?
Well, we actually been planning this for 3 years now, and it came about when we actually came with the name. We didn't want to call it. We wanted to be Buffalo centric, but we didn't want it to say Buffalo Music and Arts Festival, Nickel City Festival, Queen City.
Yeah.
So when we did our research, we found the name, and we didn't have Buffalo Riverworks in mind at all, which they came into play last year, which it kind of all just started aligning up where Beautiful River, Buffalo Riverworks, so that's how it all kind of just came about.
Now, even just to start out, Lindsay, he's a good friend of mine, know him since we was in college, and we both were working, well, he had founded a entertainment business, I was working for one, and we used to go at it. We were probably having some of the biggest college parties that there were here in the city of Buffalo.
You went to college with Lindsay?
No, he went to Bus State. I went to UB, so the better half.
But,
but nonetheless, Lindsay started his career in college with putting on major events and has done so every year from Ballin' for a Cause, which is another major one. So this right here is going to be even bigger, and I can really see it happening and moving in such a direction. So what do you expect from this festival?
I just expect it just to be a cultivating event for everybody, and that's what we want it to be, to have all these genres of music, all these styles of art, all these cultures be able to come under the one roof and really just display Buffalo, because it's just 100% Buffalo, from all the artists, from all the musicians, from everybody that's a part of the event. Is just 100% Buffalo.
So the art, is that going to be set up like a art fair, like the Elmwood Art Festival or something?
Yes, so we actually have 5 sound stages that'll be going on, including a silent disco. We'll have art installations that'll be up throughout the festival. We'll also have art exhibits as well too, some live paintings and a poetry slam and other things.
Now this
Poetry.
Yep.
Poetry.
Yes.
All encompassing.
We're in. I love it.
Yeah.
Now this is presented by Ballin' for a Cause.
No.
No, it is not?
No.
Benefiting.
That's one of the
That's one of my other events that I do.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us about that then.
Okay, my other event that I do?
Yeah.
It's a 5-on-5 charity basketball tournament that we do every year annually, that we host here in Buffalo, and that actually attracts teams from all over the world. They actually come right here to Buffalo for fires Australia, the Caribbean, Canada, and we raise proceeds for local charities here in the area.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, Lindsay, Adriana is telling us how, as a college student, you were a go-getter.
Absolutely.
That you were, but you know, at such a young age, to be so focused and to be driven is a very unusual thing.
Yeah.
So where'd that come from?
When I was actually in high school, I was just an athlete, and it actually, now when I look back, I kind of like look back at it because I actually went to Sweet Home High School and I put together the first class field trip. It was never done in the school, so that was kind of like my first event that we kind of get everybody together. Everybody had to vote on a class field trip, and that's kind of how it came about. So it's been my attention to detail on certain things.
Sports, Kim, it was sports.
It was sports. It was sports that did it.
Yeah, sports that did it, team oriented and being goal setting. So that was kind of like the thing.
It just got you in the mindset that you were going to move forward and basically be a winner.
Be competitive. Yeah.
What's your time frame on this wonderful event you're having at the Riverworks?
The time of day?
No, the time, like when we get there, we can stay the whole day, right?
Yes, we can stay the whole day.
Tell us what we're going to experience.
So the whole day, so the event itself will start at 3 o'clock. So you'll have 5 stages of music going on from 3 to 12 a.m. You'll have, country music, you'll have EDM, you'll have bluegrass, you'll have hip hop, you'll have rap, everything going on. You'll have a poetry slam will be going on. You'll have backyard games, people do cornhole in between, if they don't want to listen to certain things. We'll have a custom car and bike exhibit in the parking lot, displaying artwork. We'll have speaker panels. So we'll have dance, we'll have everything going on, and just being at Riverworks, there's so much to do there in the water. So prayerfully we get a day like this when we have all the boats pull up, and then that'd be another spectacle.
It's a family event.
It's a family event, all ages. We have.
What kind of ticket prices are we talking?
Ticket prices are $20, and then there's VIP tickets that includes a buffet and drinks and things. But it's totally family event. We have some younger dance groups. We have some student groups that are performing as well too. So
now share with us some of the artists that's going to be there. I know we have one of our homegrown drummers and artists, Joy the drummer, who's also Beyonce's drummer.
Be a name dropper.
She's going to be
a name dropper. Okay. Yeah, so we have some really great artists, such as Vinzella Joy. She's Beyonce's drummer. She just was on Seth Meyers this whole week. We also have DJ T Jizzle, who's Drake's DJ. He just got done with him. You have Eric Van Houten, who's actually a rising country music star. You have Drea, who's a international songwriter.
We had on the show.
We had on this show. You have Keys, who's a Grammy-nominated producer here from Buffalo. You have Eyes Everywhere. You have Dusty Bits, or EDM guys. You have Carrington Gaines, who's gospel. We have reggae. We have literally every aspect of music that'll be taking place. Some of the artists will be Jarrell Adams, Left Hand Bandit, Seeing Sounds will be some of the art installations as well too. So be a good thing, yeah.
So overall, it's a great event, family affair, and you're going to be exposed to not only music but the arts in itself and poetry.
And poetry. And our biggest thing is that we're not telling anybody the times that the artists are actually going on, because we want them to be able to be exposed to other acts of music. So instead of you saying 7 p.m. the country guy is going on, you may just come for the 7 p.m. country guy. Well, now you kind of got to stick around.
That's the price of music. How can people get tickets to this event?
You have enough going on that even if someone doesn't like something that's in front of them, a minute later there's something else.
There's something else.
So how can we get tickets?
They can go online at BuffaloMusicAndArtsFestival.com, Doris Records, and also Miss Eye Candy Boutique.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. Thank you for being with us. And we encourage you to check out Buffalo down at the Riverworks over next weekend, correct?
Next Saturday.
But stay with us. When we come back, we're going to have some good eats. We're going to be cooking with pierogies. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. I think this is my favorite part of the show.
Of course it is.
We are welcoming Linda Lunn from Bapcha's Pierogi, and she has some fabulous things on the table for us today. Welcome,
Linda.
Linda.
I'll just pass out the utensils.
Pierogies, a Buffalo iconic food, right?
What are we looking at, Linda?
What we're looking at, these are some of the things that we have on the menu for the fair are this year. We have our traditional cheese trio, which is farmer's cheese pierogi with caramelized onions and sour cream. We have our buffalo trio, which is a combination of one of each pierogi. There's a beef on weck, a buffalo wing, and a stuffed banana pepper.
Wow.
So hungry.
Wow.
They come with their own unique sauces. So the beef on weck is served with a horsey sauce. The buffalo wing is served with a buffalo wing sauce. And the banana pepper is served with a fresh, creamy pesto.
Awesome.
We also have our kielbasa bomber, which is a smoked.
What could be better?
It's a smoked kielbasa link, grilled with sweet sour red cabbage and bacon and onions, and it's served with a spicy honey mustard. Our dessert, which is starting to melt, is our
Save that.
that is our apple pie, apple a la mode pierogi.
Oh my gosh.
So it's filled with a homemade apple filling, just like your, just like Grandma made, just the apple pie filling. She
grandmother
didn't
didn't.
make the apple pie.
But this is smelling way too good. Are we going to
Yeah,
get it?
This is the one we haven't talked about. This is the one I was saving for last. This is our crab stuffed mushroom.
Did you say
pierogi.
crab stuffed?
Crab stuffed. It's
Not
a
crawfish stuffed.
No. It is a stuffed mushroom pierogi topped with a béarnaise sauce and lumped crab meat. And this is going to be, this is one of the items on the new food show
I
down
feel
the
like I have to
I
test.
can't even.
I can't let you go.
Take that one. I'll take this one.
Linda, what I want to know is, so where will everyone find you at the fair?
This is coming
They
over
will
here.
find us. We are at Trackside 9. We are right up the road from the food kitchen, actually. We're located 3 booths away from the door, the entrance to the old casino. And just look for the big Bapsha's pierogi.
Oh, man, you're the
On
best.
our trailer.
Best pierogies in town.
Smells so good.
Do you generally recommend that people eat these with forks and spoons and knives, or with their fingers?
Just eat them.
However you choose. They're a little messy at times, but fingers are fine. You use
Fingers are
whatever
fine.
you
So
have.
everything that's on the table here, are you serving at the fair today?
Yes, we are.
And for the duration of the fair?
For the duration of the fair.
Mercedes, you went after that crab.
I have to tell you something. Mercedes had her very first pierogi
Really?
at the Pulaski Day Parade. She's forever changed.
Forever
Really?
Forever changed.
Well,
What is this? I forgot.
this is the traditional farmer's cheese.
Okay.
And I would like to think that Bapsha's pierogi has forever changed the pierogi industry.
Yep.
We currently make 20 flavors of them.
How many flavors?
20 flavors.
What's the most popular flavor in Buffalo?
The most popular flavor in Buffalo is always the cheese.
The traditional.
It's the traditional cheese. We have people ask if we have sauerkraut or the potato and mushroom or potato at the fair. We only bring the cheese because it's always #1.
Yeah, where else can we get your pierogies besides here at the fair? So come to the fair and just eat your.
Can I just share that this is my first one since you just threw
Ever?
Mercedes under the bus?
No, she loves it.
Could Mary Kate share, please?
No, she's not sharing at all.
Speaking of share,
Where can we get you?
We are located in the Broadway Market. We're located there year-round, so we're open Monday through Saturday. Our hours are a little different during the fair because most of us are out here.
Yep.
You can also find us in Dashes, Bippert's. You can find us in Side Door Deli, which is Lancaster and Buffalo.
I would sell these out of my
Oh,
trunk.
there are so many. We have
If you need a representative, I'll just drive around Buffalo and say, come on, pass me the pierogies.
And if you do come up to our booth, we have coupons that they can redeem at the stores that carry
I'll tell you, you have the best pierogies I've ever had in my life, and all, apologies to my friends who make them. Yeah, this is it.
Well, thank you.
Oh, so good.
I don't love the way she says the word. She says it way better than you, Mary.
Well, I'm Irish.
Say it again.
Pierogi.
Talk about your Polish-American heritage for us.
I am 100% Polish. My husband will tell you I'm 200% Polish. I make up for what he's not. My grandparents came from Poland. My mom, we started making pierogi when we were little kids, and my
This is in your blood.
grandparents, it really is. My grandparents made them with my parents when they were children.
It's a heritage every year, right? I mean, don't
is.
mothers and daughters and sons?
And friends, and whoever you can
I
get
have
to
a friend
know.
that has a pierogi party every year, and they have this like tables and tables and full
Absolutely.
of pierogies.
And
Would
a
that be
house
at
full
St.
of flour.
Vladimir's feast? Or no?
St. Casimir's?
Casimir.
So Linda, this is great party food,
Yes,
right?
it is.
You must have people who call you to order for parties, for catering.
Absolutely.
So
man.
this is going to be what, birthday parties, graduation parties.
When's your next party?
100 episode parties.
Yeah, 100th episode.
Parties, exactly.
This
Party
is the
at
best
Linda's.
way to present our 100th episode. It's with your
fighting
pierogi.
happening.
You know, we're going to start
Yeah.
fighting each other over this
see it.
food. I mean, this is we're not
The pulling is getting serious.
Judge Penny, eat your heart out.
You missed it, Penny.
Oh my goodness, Linda, this is just fantastic.
I'm glad.
What's your
everyone
favorite?
enjoyed.
Look at your
My
hands go.
favorite is actually the stuffed banana pepper.
Oh,
Where's
love
that?
I had it for the first
I
time.
didn't try that one. Pass
That's-
it down. Pass
So
it down.
sad.
Mercedes Wilson, you're just lucky that it's time for a commercial. But we want to thank Linda. We want
This
to
is the
thank
stuffed
Linda.
banana
The
pepper.
food will stay. We want to thank you, Linda, for bringing in this wonderful food, for making these delicious pierogies. We have to take a short break. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, I think we have something to celebrate here at the Erie County Fair, and we've got some final thoughts. Stay with us. The green? The green. Oh, I so need napkins.
Oh, and I feel big.
Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We are celebrating. It's our 100th episode. Yay! And joining us here to celebrate with cake is the station owner, our executive producer, Phil Arno. Welcome, Phil. We're so
100
excited.
episodes.
I
What a
know.
milestone.
Happy birthday.
And I don't see one straitjacket anywhere.
The
Well, we're
episode's not
preparing
over.
one for
We
John
made
the
it.
Shoe That's a different story. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to break in the 100th episode.
Yeah.
The Erie County
Which is
Fair.
strictly,
It's
it was by
how
chance.
appropriate.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It was
Yeah.
just terrific. This is groundbreaking. This is terrific to go live from the fair, and we're going to be here for the entire length of the fair. I got to tell you, we have so many comments from viewers every day about how much they appreciate this show. And it really kind of confirms the fact that Buffalo needs and appreciates local programs that's entertaining, informative, gives you things to think about. You guys couldn't be doing a better job. Kudos to you and to Kelly, our producer, Kelly O'Hara, and John DeShulo. Everybody's doing such a great job, and I'm really proud of the way that the program is going.
Well,
I'm proud to be part of it.
Thank you for having the vision.
Yeah.
And the guts.
Right.
Right? And the guts to
Well,
step
Phil,
out.
since now
and
we
the
know you're
cake.
keeping us. Since now we know you're keeping us. What do you see in our future?
Oh dear,
Well,
cake.
in Hollywood, 100 episodes is the golden goose because you can go into syndication. I think with this show, it's going to be 100 years.
I feel like
And
it.
then, well, but I think that this show is going to expand. I think we're going to do a lot more field work. And Judge Penny, who had to be in court today, she does that every Wednesday. She's going to be doing a lot more field work and interviews, and we're going to be doing maybe some Skype interviews and some phone calls. We're trying to get some technical improvements going, and I think that's going to expand the show.
Get more of the community involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're staring at this cake, Phil.
Okay, well, I just think forks up.
Okay, forks up.
Forks up, everyone.
Forks up, ready? Forks up. 3,
right.
Happy
2,
100.
1.
Woo!
Yay!
I got a corner piece. Awesome.
Kim is just a mess. Look at her.
What a mess.
NPR.
Okay,
Oh,
everyone.
Yummy.
Very good.
Tastes just like cake.
It could use a little pierogi filling.
Great cake.
Okay, so we're just gonna keep eating or no? So remember, listen, Western New York,
Pounds coming.
we are here at the Erie County Fair. We're in the Erie County Fair Cook's Kitchen
And shop.
We WBBZ. We have our own gazebo. Come down to the gazebo
Across
and
from the wine.
Across from the wine.
Buy some wine.
Plinko. Come play Plinko.
Great prizes, great surprises.
Yes. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers,
Thanks
everyone.
for watching WBBZ-TV. We will see you tomorrow.
Cheers.